pétrolière.
Louis-Étienne Beaupré, External Communication Manager, Ubisoft.
Nicolas Penneau, Executive Vice President for Contract Logistics.
Pierre Coucher, directeur des ventes marketing et des événements.
Okay, so good evening, Board of Directors of Congebec. We are here on behalf of Pinnacle Solutions, consisting of my colleagues AJ, Julia, and myself, Sarah. Now we are here because right now, Congebec as a company is at a crossroads. You need to decide whether it is worth it to change your name, change your identity, and reposition yourself so that your company can potentially have a lot greater market share and a lot more meaning to the Anglophone Canadians in the rest of Canada. Or you can stay true to your heritage, stay true to what you have been in the past, and remain within Quebec and within your current locations, staying with who you are and growing within that segment. So what's to be noted here is that you as a company must appeal to markets outside Quebec to achieve the growth potential without alienating the current clientele. So you really want to make sure that your current clients feel satisfied, they feel that you're the same company you have always been, in addition to appealing to a stronger market in the rest of Canada. So looking at the challenges that you have at hand right now, first off, you need to make sure that you capitalize on the industry growth. So in the last 2 years, the industry has grown by at least 5%, which is great for you as a company, as it means you still have room to grow. In addition, you need to make sure that your brand image is identifiable to not only new customers across the country, but that it's satisfying and still identifiable and similar to what it always has been within Quebec, particularly. And finally, you need to make sure that you maintain your brand equity through these changes moving forward, and that you make sure that your customers remain satisfied with this motion. So all challenges at hand must be resolved when moving forward and when creating a different type of brand strategy. So looking at the key issues right now, as I've mentioned before, the brand image is at a crossroads right now. So you have a French-sounding name, the Congebec, makes a lot of sense in Quebec. However, a lot of Anglophone Canadians, they don't find it as funny, they don't relate to it because they don't understand. So instead of making this a challenge, we look at it as an opportunity to enhance your brand meaning to the rest of Canada, to really show them that you are just as Anglophone as you are Francophone, and that you're just as good at all the other Anglophone companies. Furthermore, there's risk associated with this type of change. So, of course, there's always consequences with changing the brand, which you have to make sure to mitigate. But we, again, see this as an opportunity to revamp your image, to recreate excitement towards your company. So when moving forward, your brand is the second largest in Canada, which is a huge asset in terms of growth, and attracting new markets will be necessary to sustain this type of growth. So looking at the competitive landscape, we looked at it on the basis of the national appeal of your name compared to a lot of the English companies and the market share that you have. So as you can see, VersaCold is quite large and it's very well known, particularly in the West. So we don't see you competing as much with them. However, we do believe that with your great market share, having a greater national appeal of your name towards Anglophone customers will have a stronger appeal to the rest of Canada. So we'd like you to increase your national appeal of your name. And moving forward, you must create a strong national appeal for the brand, in addition to maintaining your solid market share and keeping your current customers pleased. So looking at the two market segments, right here we have Steven. So Steven is a manager of a food chain retailer, and he is also trying to compete as a customer with Caroline. So she's the French-Canadian, owns a restaurant in Quebec, and you must make sure that you satisfy both Steven and Caroline moving forward. So looking at the persona, first off we have Steven. So he's the manager of the retail store Sobeys, which is very big in the English provinces like Ontario, particularly Waterloo. He's 50 years old, he's really looking for a new refrigerated service provider, and he's Anglophone. So what's key for him in this case is to make sure that, that your brand name attracts Steven to hire you, to make sure that he understands what your company is all about. Then we have, as I mentioned, Caroline. So she lives in Quebec, she owns her own restaurant, she's very particular about what she wants, she's an independent businesswoman, 37 years old. She loves your current customer access service, so she needs to make sure that this will be sustained in the future, and she's Francophone. So if you go and change your name, she needs to make sure that you're still the same company at heart. So what's to be noted is that any brand name change and marketing efforts about this must attract and satisfy current customers such as Caroline. I will now pass AJ on to do the alternatives.
Okay, so we looked into 3 alternatives. One was to keep name nationwide, so not change your name. The second one was to keep name only in Quebec and then have a new name for the rest of Canada. And the first one was to enhance the brand nationwide, so change the name and use it everywhere, not just in Quebec, but also in the rest of Canada. So the first one, keep name nationwide. Well, this is good for your existing clients because they're familiar with the name and they're used to working with you with that name, and it is not risky because that's what you're currently doing. However, it's not sufficient to attract perhaps some outside of Quebec clients who don't currently understand your brand because of the fact that it's in French and they don't relate to it as much. So we feel like this limits your growth. Even though you're still growing, you won't grow as much as you would otherwise. The second one was keep name in Quebec only. Well, this would keep your Quebec customers satisfied because they keep feeling related to your brand because it's still the same as what they've been used to. However, because it's different from the national brand, there's inconsistency in terms of what you can do in your marketing campaigns because it's 2 different brands, so the brand equity will not be as strong. And finally was enhancing the brand nationwide. This is, we feel, is the best alternative of the 3 because it will maximize your potential, because not only will you gain new customers, but you'll also be able to ensure that your current customer base still feels secure and the fact that you are a Quebec-based company and that your values have not changed. So we recommend that you enhance your name, brand, and slogan. You create greater appeal to the national customers through this new change, but at the same time, you maintain your current customers and you acquire new ones and gain additional market share to be able to compete with a greater competitor in Canada and internationally. So now I'll pass it on to Julia, who will talk about what the new brand will be.
Thank you, AJ. Now, Congé Bec. It represents transporting refrigerated products. But to non-francophones, it may mean a nice vacation to Quebec. So what we really want to have as a name is something that is descriptive, so that encompasses everything from freezing and keeping all your products at cold temperatures, as well as packaging and transportation. Your new brand has to encompass all of these things and not just a nice vacation to Quebec. Moving forward, the new name that we have come up with is Transcool. Now, we don't want to emphasize too much on the cool part as it being hip, but more that it symbolizes in both English and French that your products are kept refrigerated. This is something you do very well. And it also encompasses that you transport these products. So we believe that this name will be a great replacement for your Congé Bec, which was already great, but needed to be changed in order to gain a more national appeal. Now, moving forward in the new message, for Transcool, we have to have a couple of key elements, such as efficiency, innovation, security, quality, integrity, and reliability. You are still the same company. You are still a trusted source and guaranteed to your customers. Customers love your satisfaction, the satisfaction that they get from you, and you even have a great tool of the customer access, which is something that not everybody does and something that you can use in the future. So going on all these key elements, we thought about how can we transmit all of these different elements into one sentence that has honesty and also everything that you do, such as the packaging and the transport. And that is cold, packed, delivered. It's precise, it tells exactly what you do, and it goes very well with other sayings such as sealed and delivered. The French translation for this, of course, is réfrigéré, emballé, livré. So for the Transcool logo, we know that some of your other competitors use snowflakes and polar bears, and that's really great. And we believe that you needed something that encompasses cool, that goes a little bit more with this new revamp. You are hitting your 40th anniversary. This is huge. This is the time to revamp your brand and to come out stronger, better. Maybe even take on Versa Cold, which we think you can do in the future. So, in order to do this, we have come up with a new logo, which encompasses cold and packaging, and it is cold, packed, delivered. Now, it won't be so toyish in the actual advertising. We will come up definitely with a better one to show you upon our contracts finishing. So moving on. The big picture. Now, the communication strategy that we've come up with for this is the communication objective of this whole campaign, which is really what you asked us to do, is to smoothly transition Congé Bec's new brand to clients and the media. Now, how are we going to do this? That's through the message strategy. So the new name, the new look, Trans Cool, cold packaged, refrigerated, and our beautiful snowman. But it has the same guarantee, and you offer the same source of trust that you did with Congé Bec. It's fun that we are revamping, but we need to keep clear that you are still the same great company. That goes into our big idea, which is bringing all these new things into your 40th anniversary celebration. This is a new era for Congé Bec, turning into Trans Cool, which AJ is going to take you through.
Okay, so looking at the task allocation, we decided that the best tool to use would be public relations in your case, because it's B2B, business to business. So that's where the bulk of our budget went. The rest of it went mostly in e-marketing, because we felt there was a lot of value in using your databases and expanding it to acquire new customers and to strengthen your relationship with your current base. So if we move forward, I'll let Sarah do the action plan.
Thank you, AJ. So beginning with the first phase, the goal is mainly to announce that your brand has been changed and to mitigate any potential loss of clients. This is to reassure your clients that you are still the same company that you were in the past, that you will operate the same way, just with a slight change of name to appeal to a broader audience. This phase is going to start tomorrow morning and will go for the next 6 months of the implementation. Moving on to the second phase, this is going from 6 months to the next 2 years, or 24 months. And the goal of the second phase is really to acquire the new clients, as we've already satisfied our new clients and we've gotten greater appeal nationwide, so that we can increase our market share and create relationships, perhaps internationally as well. I will now pass it on to Julia to discuss the public relations.
Thanks, Sarah. So the whole goal of this is really to announce the new brand and to mitigate the potential loss of clients. And the whole 40th anniversary is really something that we want to give to you in detail, which is why I'm going to let AJ take over it.
Okay, so if we move on to the next slide. The 40th anniversary celebration. So we want to invite the top 20% of your clients who are responsible for 80% of your business to this event, where you'll, first of all, give them a tour of the facility, then explain to them this new strategy that you're going to pursue. Explain to them the new logo, the new name, and explain to them why you're making this change, because it's important for them to understand that you're not changing your values, that you're still the same company. This is just a next step that you have to take to grow faster and to be more appealing nationwide, not just in Quebec. So that's why it's really essential. And a good way to give them an incentive to come and also to remain satisfied after the meeting is over, even if they're not necessarily that pleased with the fact that you're changing their name, is by giving them a preferred membership card. So this is something that's like a loyalty program, where you're telling them that you're our top clients, we value you, and because of that, you're going to have special deals that the rest of the clients don't have, because of the fact that you are responsible for us being where we are today. So if we go back to the previous slide, the other thing that was really important was press releases, because it's not only the 20% of your top clients that matter, the rest of them matter too, so you have to actually let them know about your change and explain to them why you're changing your strategy and why it's still not too different from what you're currently doing. It's just a different name that's more appealing internationally. And also, we want to give back to the community in a way that's reflective of your values, because you're all about sustainability. So a good thing to do is to pursue this sustainability initiative. So if we pursue this, it's a pledge of 1% of your net profits to sustainable initiative that's relevant to your target market. So if you feel like Quebec is your roots, then something that will make them feel like you care, contributing to something that they care about, is the way to go. That will also help you attract clients that share your values. So if there are clients who share your sustainability approach, then they will actually be more tempted to partner with you as opposed to other competitors who don't have the same beliefs. So that 1% is going to take you to the next step, and it's going to be well worth the cost. And the press release, I'll let Julia pursue.
Thank you, AJ. So, for the press release, we noticed that this is important. You're inviting the top 20% of your clients, but what about the rest of them? And what about the other industry that are maybe with VersaCold or one of your other competitors that you can maybe steal away from them? So a press release is necessary. We believe that an article is the best way to go, really driving content and why your company, Congebec, now Transcool, is so great. Through an experience of use article, as well as introducing the new brand and the contact information of where they can get more information to become one of your clients. So where are we going to have these press releases? Mostly in criteria such as newspapers that are nationwide and that have a high reach, especially to people in the industry. So Metro, Globe and Mail, the Toronto Star, and the Gazette, mostly in business sections, just to announce that you are changing your name for the whole industry to realize, as well as online. We realize that online is crucial these days. So you must put it on your new customer access, which is going to be the Transcool Accès, and on your website, and other industry-related websites, so other transportation websites where you can go buy pay-per-click ads and other things like this, but mostly press releases and showing them that your new name, but that you are the same company.
Okay, so looking into e-marketing, so the goal is to increase your client portfolio. You currently have about 500 clients. We want to bump it up to maybe 550 within the next year or two. So that's like a 10% increase. So the first thing we want to do is to utilize your database, as I said before, by emailing your current customers who have been inactive, perhaps who've used your services a long time ago but haven't recently, to reactivate them, to remind them of what you stand for and the fact that you are a valuable source for them. Another thing is we want to introduce a referral program. So pretty much your current customers, if they refer you to an equivalent account, then they'll receive a discount on future contracts. So that gives them an incentive to actually refer to someone else, and it pays for itself because you're increasing your portfolio without having to spend any money on marketing. And finally, we want to begin the development of a new app. So you have this Access Transcool software that's extremely valuable that nobody else has. So by creating this new app, you're going to create another unique selling point that is looking to the future and will attract additional customers who will not have this service anywhere else. And this we expect should be launched by the end of the second year if we begin working on it in the next 6 months. Julia?
Thank you. So, additional to press releases and other things, the print ad is really just going to once again reinforce the whole changing of the name and explaining why. So, a criteria for these print ads is going to be such things as transport magazines and packaging magazines, so really industry related. Basically what the print ad is going to look like is just a picture of your old Congebec logo with the beautiful igloo in the middle to the new Transcool logo, and just giving a brief description of why you're changing and how much better you are than the competition with your Transcool Access and all these things. People want information at their fingertips. You give them this. Let's transmit it to them so that they can come running to you.
I will now take over the budget. So for all of these events over the next 2 years, we've budgeted approximately $90,000, which we can adjust upon evaluating your financial statements and looking at your percentage of sales. But right now we have it budgeted at $90,000 with our big PR events and the 40th event celebration, flying in clients, having big pictures and ads at 61% of the budget for $55,000. We then have e-marketing, so as AJ mentioned, your databases, the new app, etc. at $30,000 for 33%. And of course the print ads budget at $5,000 for 1% of the budget for a total of $90,000. We then take a look again at our key issues So we've taken your distinctive brand image and slightly adjusted it to appeal to both a French and an English market, using an opportunity to enhance the brand meaning. And we've avoided risk by doing a lot of advertising, big celebrations, and appreciating our current customers in order to make sure they're still appreciated. So we believe that we have given you the tools to implement this new branding strategy, and we will now open the floor to questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I have a question for your budget. You have laid out pretty well the out-of-pocket expenses for the for new logo and new name. What I'm actually concerned about is the cost for your referral program, your royalty program, and the sustainability initiative. How much it's going to cost us?
Well, it depends on sales. So if you project sales at increasing by 10% within the next year, so assuming your sales are $1 million, let's say, for this year, so if you increase by 10% to $1.1 million, then 1% of the profits will be allocated to sustainability. However, a lot of the accounts that you're getting, you wouldn't have gotten otherwise. So it's paying for itself in a way, because it's attracting customers that are looking for businesses that specifically are sustainable and are doing initiatives such as this one. So it will pay for itself at the end of the day. It will all depend on your sales. It's only proportionate towards net profits, not sales.
Okay. So Steven and Carolyn are going to be impressed enough with our sustainable initiative, even if it's a B2B relationship, to sign up with us.
Yeah.
Yep, sorry, I can take that question. In your print ads, you can suggest things such as the carbon footprint. So you're a transport company. A carbon footprint initiative is where you basically calculate the amount of mileage and gas you use and try to reduce it over the years to create less pollution. So this could be put on your app, put on websites, put on print ads, announced in the media that you're doing actions like this that will directly target people like Caroline and Steven to show them that you are sustainable and that you're working as a transport company to improve your carbon footprint.
So I have to increase my price for one more person to make sure I can afford it.
Yeah, well, for affordability, we didn't have the tools to evaluate this type of membership program. However, upon looking at research about it, it would actually save costs in the long run because you're reducing energy. However, in the short run, it would be an additional cost, yes.
I need your help trying, let me, actually, how would you convince my CEO, who was born in Chicoutimi and developed the name Congébec, that to go for something a bit more than what you mentioned before? It's not an enhancement of a brand, it's actually a new brand that you were going forward with. And the same kind of graph saying that we're going to give away 1% of our profit. Just tell me, how do we convince my CEO of that without, well, me losing my job, basically?
Yeah. Which one you tell first?
But help me convince him that, you know, just go on the brand for the sake of the argument of going from Congébec to Transcool.
Yeah, so basically you're keeping it somewhat bilingual again. So Transcool, emphasizing the cold, emphasizing the transport. It's unilingual, so that's simpler. Everybody understands it. However, that being said, by doing this, you will appeal to greater market share. So you will be able to compete with markets bigger than yours in Ontario, in Vancouver, in the Maritimes. So you'll be gaining a greater market share and ideally making more sales. So you'll have a greater net profit. And then having the 1%, you could even reduce it to 0.5%, but it just shows your customers that you really care about the environment, about the globe, etc., so that they know that you're a trusted brand and that you are caring about the future, you care about them, their children, their grandchildren, and you're putting this into your funds as well.
All right. Just another question, because that's actually one of the sensible areas of mine in terms of PR. How do you intend to getting the Globe and Mail and all those guys interested in a brand change, especially in B2B, which is one of the hardest things to do in our business?
Right. So for the press release, this is really in the second half. So basically, what we want to do is, better yet, send a press release, a press kit. So send it to people that are concerned about the environment. A lot of people are very much concerned about writing about the environment today. So seeing the changes that you are making and that you will be making in the future will entice them to write about you. And not only that you are a Quebec company. We will try to start with smaller newspapers such as Metro, and just to gain buzz and word of mouth, which is one of the most powerful marketing tools out there. And then go on to reach bigger newspapers such as the Globe Mail. That answers your question.
Instead of investing about $100 per.
There's no.
Okay.
Well,
Thank you.
Here, now they can't tell me nothing. We give it to the people.